Good afternoon, graduates, families, friends, distinguished guests, and colleagues. Welcome to the 137th graduation ceremony for Wyoming High School. As we continue our tradition of commencement on Graduation Walkway with the class of 2021, I would like to thank all of those who have contributed to our legacy of excellence, making us one of the best high schools in America. At this time, I would ask our senior choir members to please make their way on over. During our ceremony today, I request that you honor the tradition of respect and decorum in our ceremony. After graduates' names are read, whoa, okay. Woke everybody up in case you weren't there. Please hold your applause till everybody's name has been read. At this time, I ask you to please rise for the singing of our national anthem and remain standing for the Wyoming alma mater. Please be seated. Our final song, Wings, will be performed by the Senior Vocal Ensemble under the direction of Mr. Brian Potts, orchestra and band under the direction of Mrs. Laura Coomer and Mr. Paul Vickus.
storm and summer's night, and let my wings lift me higher and bring me through the night. Carry me high above the water, carry me high above the plains, carry me far beyond the rising of the sun. Bring me home again. Carry me high above the water. Carry me high above the plain. Carry me far beyond the rising of the sun. Bring me home again. And give me wings to see the mountains, to rise above the clouds so high, and let my wings lift me higher and bring me through the night. And give me wings to feel the wind song, and let me fly above the sky, and let my wings lift me higher and bring me to your side. Carry me high above the water, carry me high above the plain, carry me far beyond the rising of the sun. Bring me home again. Carry me high above the water. Carry me high above the plain. Carry me far beyond the rising of the sun. Bring me home again. Carry me high above the water. Carry me high above the plain. Carry me far beyond the rising of the sun. Bring me home again. Carry me high above the water. Carry me high above the plain. Carry me far beyond the rising of the sun. Bring me home again. Bring me home again. Bring me home again.
Good afternoon. My name is Tim Weber, and I'm honored to be the superintendent of Wyoming City Schools. On behalf of Board of Education President Jeannie Zoller, Board Vice President Kara Broderick, board members Aaron Meese, Ilya Thomas, Heather Yee, along with the entire administration, faculty, and staff of Wyoming City Schools, I want to welcome you to the 137th Wyoming High School Commencement Ceremony today. I thought about welcoming the thousands of cicadas that are somewhere out there, but they seem to be taking the day off, allowing us to focus on our students today, which is wonderful. A great thing indeed. Graduates, many people have helped you reach the milestone that we're celebrating with you today. The success that you've achieved is the result of your perseverance and hard work, but it is also made possible by the support and encouragement of your parents and family members, our exceptional teaching and support staff, and an incredible Wyoming community that wants nothing more than your continued success. I'd like to take a moment to recognize Wyoming City Schools staff members retiring this year and to thank these individuals for their extraordinary dedication to serving Wyoming students of all ages. Thank you to Teddy Bolton, Karen Gasky, Ann Keene, Linda Kozianski, Brian Mayer, Marty Murray, and Karen Reiber. We are truly better because of you. Yes. When I began my time as Wyoming superintendent 2 years ago, we had conversations about impact and the incredible opportunity that we all have to make a difference in the lives of others, no matter what role that we play. We had absolutely no idea that at that time we'd be impacting and supporting others through a pandemic. As students, staff, and families began this school year, we continued to have conversations about how we could positively impact each other, and we also spoke about the importance of knowing our why. What we do is important, but when we know our why, or the purpose that drives each one of us, our what, or the actions that we take, are so much more impactful because our work is aligned with our purpose. This year, knowing our why has never been more important, and the class of 2021 has shown us all the incredible things that can happen when you know your why and you follow your purpose. The class of 2021 began this year at a time of great uncertainty when none of us knew what effect the pandemic would have on our health and safety. In those conditions, you pulled together like no other class has ever done before to lead the entire student body to follow the protocols necessary to provide a safe environment for you, for your peers, for your family, your teachers, and your community. And you have continued to carry out these actions even today. This year brought you the ultimate academic challenge of continuing to learn and grow while navigating a changing environment. Sometimes attending school in person, sometimes remotely, and sometimes even in a hybrid format. However, you continued to persevere and you achieved incredible accomplishments in the classroom, in the arts, and in athletics. As the difficult times continued throughout the year, you knew that it was important to celebrate the successes that you and others attained. These celebrations, sometimes big and sometimes as simple as a smile behind a mask, provided the extra encouragement that was the difference maker for many of us. You understood the power of connection and continue to find ways to connect with your teachers, with your families, and with your friends. Sometimes this happened through a computer screen, sometimes it happened 6 feet apart, again with multiple masks, and sometimes it was made possible because of a vaccine. Whatever the case, you took the time and you made the effort to continue to be connected with one another. You might never fully understand the powerful impact that your connection had on those around you, but those connections helped us all to thrive while navigating a pandemic, and those connections bring us here today to celebrate. As a class, you never let the challenges of this year take you away from the vision that you had for your future, and today you set your sights on the incredible opportunities that lie ahead. This year has caused us all to think about our why and to be intentional and purposeful about the things that matter most to us. In these things, the class of 2021 has been a model for all of us. Each year, the Wyoming High School commencement ceremony begins with a procession of the graduates, led by representatives of the Alumni Association and the members of the distinguished classes celebrating milestones, such as the 50-year and 60-year reunions. Unfortunately, we're not able to have members of these classes of 1961 and 1971 here with us today, but like today's graduating class, those that came before you determined their purpose during difficult times. Their lessons teach us the value of education and show us what heights can be reached when building on a Wyoming foundation. Those who cannot be here in person today send messages of celebration to you with stories of perseverance and success. From the class of 1961, Lori Stanton Betts shares her hope for your future and her assurances that you will be, there's Wyoming, the train. Lori Stanton Betts shares her hope for your future and her assurances that you will be able to take the confidence and stability which life in Wyoming and Wyoming High School has given you and use it to accomplish your dreams. Lee Waters graduated in 1961 and went on to serve in the U.S. Air Force in the air, flying subsonic and supersonic jets, and underground, commanding a Titan II nuclear missile launch site. Mr. Waters recommends doing well in school and serving others. From the class of 1971, Dr. Catherine Elaine Hughes Burley wants you to know that the education you've received as a student in Wyoming will serve you well all the days of your lives. It was a blessing to her, and she is proud of the difference it has made in her life. Cynthia Maxwell Mason shares many Wyoming stories of her family members that may overlap with your experiences here. Learning French, learning Spanish, serving as a volunteer firefighter, running track, and playing tennis. She also spoke about meeting people in Wyoming school buildings, people who go on to become some of the most important people in your life. And Rick Goodstein shared that the last 50 years since his graduation have been a whirlwind. He advises you to work hard, play hard, and make the absolute most out of every opportunity in front of you. Mr. Goodstein's message to you is that life is a highway and that you'll face many fast lanes, sharp curves, an occasional flat tire, and unexpected off-road excursions. If you put 100% into the road ahead, your journey will be fun, exhilarating, and rewarding. Take it one day at a time with enthusiasm, a sense of purpose, and a positive mindset. These rules of the road have served him well, and they will undoubtedly serve you too. There is wisdom and impact in these words. These past graduates know their why as they take one day at a time with enthusiasm, a sense of purpose, and a positive mindset. That's exactly what you've done this year, and the road ahead looks amazing for each one of you because of that. Graduates, today marks the end of your Wyoming City Schools student experience and the beginning of endless opportunity. You've learned many valuable lessons over the past 18 years. Be mindful of the lessons that you're learning, but also the lessons that you're teaching. The wisdom that you're gaining now will be of great use to those Wyoming high school graduates who come behind you. Graduates, this is your time to make a difference. This is your time to impact the world in wonderful ways and to live out your very own why. Thank you for being an inspiration to all of us over the past year, and congratulations to every one of you.
Thank you, Mr. Weber. Graduates, you made it. For the last 2 years, the world has thrown so much at you, and yet here you are. COVID-19, masks, barriers, quarantine, hybrid, Zoom, remote, independent learning, all couldn't stop you. Words and phrases you won't miss. Positive cases, spread out, sit on the tape, your health screener form, get your temperature taken, stay 6 feet apart. Where is your barrier? Turn your camera on, pull up your mask. I want to say that I am honored to have walked with you in your journey of perseverance as you've made it to this moment. Your senior year began with nothing but questions and frustrations, as it seemed there was no way a true senior year was going to happen. Think about all those huge questions we faced. Would we make it through the first day of school? Would school shut down again? Would we have prom? Would we even have graduation? Here we are. And even today, we're persevering as the global pandemic slows. The freezing cold weather is here, and even the cicadas have joined after 17 years away. I think, though, of the many positives and the experiences that we have gone through and how obstacles have always presented themselves, and yet we've overcome. The year began with watching some of you demonstrate your skills painting the senior parking lot right before the massive rainstorm came. During your senior class meeting, we began with donuts, which was great, until I put you on wet bleachers facing the blinding sun. You were patient and understanding, as all of you had so many questions, and all I could say was, I hope it can happen, or we'll have to wait and see, as you asked about all those events that make this year special. Even with masks on and 10 minutes of passing time, you always said hello to me in the hallways and greeted me warmly at the door, as I either took that health screener form or took your temperature because you forgot the health screener form. I attended sporting events, concerts, and plays, of course, with far less friends and families that we would have liked. but you still demonstrated your skills and talents each and every time. Our outdoor lunch space was a huge success in the first semester, as somehow it did not rain in Wyoming one time in that first semester. Through it all, I appreciated getting to see you in the cafeteria, in the halls, during lunch, as you shared your stories and ideas and thoughts about what you were experiencing and feeling. Although it took time, your senior year events finally came to life. Right before spring break, we had an amazing lunch from Profe Wife's restaurant, the Arepa Place. Prom at Pyramid Hill was a great success, even in the pouring rain, as we enjoyed food trucks, the sculptures, and our very own Stonefish Band. Yeah. Watching your pictures scroll on a drive-in theater screen was a great reminder that no matter how much time goes by or how much technology changes, relationships are and always will be the most important part of your lives. I was able to see your excitement at our class of 2021 and beyond celebration as you rocked your college t-shirts, enjoyed snow cones, and had an intense kickball game. In our final week together, we had a soapy blast on the epic slip and slide. I swear I still have soap on me now. And although hot, we had a great time at the zoo. I think we're all here. We all made it, right? Did you get on the bus? Okay. And just last Thursday, we all sat down for your senior brunch for one final time to eat and laugh together. Class of 2021, you persevered, and here you are. A new journey begins for you, but you are stronger, you're adaptable, and ready for the new challenges that await you. Each day, you demonstrated respect and responsibility for yourself and each other to keep us safe. As the world faced more and more challenging situations, you were ready to listen and learn to pave the way for change. You persevered, you are resilient, and I cannot wait to see the change you make in our world. Congratulations to you all, and go Cowboys. At this time, I am honored to assist in presenting the scholarship medallion to the salutatorian. I would now ask the salutatorian, Autumn McMichael, to come forward. Joining me in presenting Autumn's medallion is Mrs. Terrell Metter from the Social Studies Department. I am very pleased to celebrate Autumn McMichael as Wyoming High School's salutatorian for the class of 2021. Autumn is remarkable in so many ways. While at Wyoming, Autumn has served on student council where she was elected student body president. She participated in Model UN, ran cross country all 4 years while serving as team captain for the last 3. Autumn will be attending the University of Arizona to study political science and economics on a pre-law track to become an environmental or criminal defense attorney. Autumn McMichael, our salutatorian.
They said I wouldn't need a stool, but I think they were wrong. Maxine Hong Kingston once said, "It was the best year and a half of my life. Nothing happened." I thought that summed our senior year up pretty well. Life in a pandemic is certainly something else. I was an online learner the whole year, but even those that weren't remote the whole time had their fair share of glitchy Zooms and broken Lenovo computers. We learned what teachers would let us get away with cameras off and the ones that would call us out. We watched as teachers would accidentally mute themselves and then continue talking for another 10 minutes until finally someone would gather the courage to point it out to the teacher, and we would all get scolded for just sitting there on our phones. Some of us got to enjoy the privileges of being the host of the meetings by accident And with that, the ability to screen share random pictures or change other students' Zoom names to immature but nonetheless comical titles. As we all know too well, this last year made making memories a bit more difficult. But I think we can all find a memory, hopefully multiple from this year, that we can look back on and smile over. And today will be that day too, eventually. A memory, a picture stored on a flash drive or in the cloud or maybe even a box if you keep things a little more old-fashioned. As we've heard so many times before, graduation is an end and a beginning. I began my life in Wyoming, starting right here with Miss Young's PM class. It was the beginning of my friendships, the beginning of my love for learning, and obviously, the beginning of my obsessive attention to grades. Trying to decide what my favorite memories of my past 13 years are in Wyoming is a difficult task. There are tests and grades, but obviously also homecoming and prom, friends and teachers, and the latter are the things from school that we will really cherish, not how we scored on a random project or essay. I remember watching my friend on the swings in middle school lose grip and fly face first onto the ground and crying laughing for the next 2 bells. Those are the times when we're 40 years old, we'll look back and smile about, and maybe even slightly shake our heads because we were young and dumb. And of course, we cannot forget the glorious day when the fire alarms went off and it wasn't a drill, canceling school for the next 2 days. I remember blasting music on the bus rides home from cross-country meets. There are so many different times to reflect on. We grew up hearing the phrase, "It's a great day to be a cowboy." We grew up going to Mayfate, seeing how many times we could ride the Typhoon or Haley's Comet in a row without throwing up, rain or shine, though more often rain. There was the yearly Halloween parade and the holiday parties the parents would put together for us with the craft, snack, and game stations. There were the little desks that opened up that we kept all of our supplies inside because we only had one teacher all day. And of course, we cannot forget our 3rd grade recorder concert with an odd assortment of singing and dancing mixed in. And then we moved beyond our youngest years in Hilltop Elm in Vermont, Hilltop obviously being the superior. Merged into one, and for the first time, all of us were together in one school. A year and a half in the pods, and then finally we made it to the brand new middle school, which is definitely nicer than the school we've been at the last 4 years. At last we had lockers, half lockers, that were arguably barely big enough to fit a backpack, but still, we had lockers. I remember hoping for a top locker every year and never getting one, even though I probably wouldn't have been able to reach it very well anyways. We listened to Mr. Overby say community, integrity, and engagement over and over. Fridays were the video announcements put together by Tech Club and Mrs. Reiber. Each video ended with a little smiley face button that got pushed and would read off a corny joke like, "Why did the golfer bring 2 pairs of pants? In case you got a hole in one." Or, "What do you call a crocodile detective? An investigator." More importantly, the video had a students yelling out, "It's a great day to be a cowboy. Woo!" And then finally, it was 8th grade. We ruled the school. We did the clay carving project based on our houses. We all had Mr. Rensberger for science and got to do the egg drop into the courtyard. We had fake money in his class that we could buy candy or random trinkets with. And although we may not have gotten DC this year, we had our trip to Chicago, shopping along the Magnificent Mile, dinner at Hard Rock Cafe, and a night at the Navy Pier. Then we graduated right here in the Pendry lobby, which feels like both a blink away, but also a whole lifetime ago. Now, we're high school students. High school meant more freedom, more options and extracurricular choices as well. Maybe that meant Model UN and trips to Montreal, or Latin Club and convention. Maybe it meant ACES, who puts on a fantastic presentation every year in honor of Black History Month. Maybe it meant being in the band and playing through adverse weather at football games. Maybe it meant being a part of the football team itself and making it far into the playoffs every year, even becoming state champions our sophomore year. Maybe it meant being a part of Science Olympiad and making it to state as well. Maybe it meant playing in a spring sport only to lose the season before it really began last year. But every team this year has come back and done exceptional. Baseball and girls lacrosse are both examples of this. Events were different this year, but we still managed to create new memories in addition to what we had from the first half of high school. We still had a prom, and as Mr. Reed pointed out, It was a bit cold, rainy, and weird, but we were just grateful to have one. Wyoming was a different place for each and every one of us. We all had and have different experiences and different opinions. We all have a various assortments of friendships we made and lost, relationships with teachers and coaches we built, favorite classes, favorite places to go. But we all have someone we're gonna miss, someone that's gonna miss us too. There are 174 of us. No, we definitely don't all love each other, but 174 is not a very big number. I like knowing everyone. I like sitting there after AP exams and going through one by one the rows of my classmates and predicting what I think they'll do in the future, where they'll live, what type of car they'll drive, if they'll have kids and how many, because there are only 174 of us. So even if they weren't my best friend, I felt like I knew just about everyone well enough to make those predictions. I realized watching the senior slideshow just how much all of us have grown up together. Some of us are planning to go far from here and never look back, and some of us are planning to return and start the next chapter of our lives right here where it all began. But every single one of us will be alumni from Wyoming High School. I myself always said I was ready to leave Ohio, ready to leave Wyoming, that I wouldn't miss it much. But as I wrote this and wrote about all the smiles and laughs I've had here in Wyoming, I realized I might have been a little wrong. I'll never forget the people here that changed me and made me who I am. The people that pushed me along and helped me stand when I just wanted to curl up in a ball and lay down. The people that wiped my tears when I got what I considered a bad grade. The people that are why I'm standing here giving this speech. It's crazy how one teacher randomly sitting you next to someone can mean a whole new friendship. And for the ones that formed a result of that and all the giggles I shared because of it, thank you to those teachers. And since no speech is ever complete without a quote from Hannah Montana, I always knew this day would come, with our future in our hands, so many dreams, so many plans. I always knew after all these years, there'd be laughter, there'd be tears. And it's so hard to say goodbye, but yesterday's gone. I'm so thankful for the moment, so glad I got to know ya. I'm glad I got to know Wang, who let me wrap my fruit from lunch in clay, put it in the kiln to cook, and then smash it open to see what happened. I'm gonna miss having a mint every day in Miss White's class. I'm gonna miss watching Miss Majors run around the classroom trying to get everyone in line during labs, and the lab results never quite being what they were supposed to be. Mrs. Metter, I am especially grateful and going to miss you so much. You taught me that history can be a story with engaging characters and plot twists. There are a lot of things to miss, and that's what's sad about the end. But graduation is a beginning too, and we can't forget that. So I hope that we all go off and do amazing things and grow as people, but I wish that we will never forget Wyoming and each other, because no matter how much you claim to love or hate Wyoming, this will forever be where you graduated from. We will forever be past classmates, and that doesn't mean everything, but it definitely means something. Maybe you'll consider yourself a cowboy forever, but I guess for me, I'd say today is a great last day to be a cowboy.
Thank you, Autumn. At this time, I am honored to assist in presenting the scholarship medallion to the valedictorian. I would now ask the valedictorian, Louis Rosenberg, to come forward. Joining me in presenting Louis's medallion is Miss Julia St. Pierre from the English department. I am very pleased to celebrate Louis Rosenberg as Wyoming High School's valedictorian for the class of 2021. Louis is extraordinary. While at Wyoming High School, he participated in Model UN, the Dungeons and Dragons Club, and was a member of the state qualifying academic team. He is a passionate reader and has started a literary magazine. He even let me know that during the pandemic, he learned to play the accordion. Lewis will be attending St. John's College in Annapolis this fall, where he will be reading great books across disciplines and discussing them in seminar-style classes in the Bachelor of Arts program. Our valedictorian for the class of 2021, Lewis Rosenberg. You got it.
So I've been thinking a lot about cicadas recently, for obvious reasons. They're gentle and adorable, and the bird now is almost as old as I am. And I also used to think that their lives were so tragic. To live underground for so long before emerging and being something beautiful and amazing, and then just dying so soon after that transformation, was always so sad to me. But I don't think it should be sad. What if, instead of seeing their situation as hopeless, before blossoming into joy, they know nothing besides peace underground and then bliss above ground? Their lives go from beautiful to gorgeous, and there's nothing tragic about that. Except when they get prematurely eaten by birds, but we're gonna ignore that for the sake of my metaphor. My point is, at one time or another, all of us as humans will likely see the future of our world as dim. It can be hard to maintain hope when we're being bombarded with news of death, sickness, and all other forms of tragedy. And for many people, this past year has been even more frightening and uncertain than years past. Our short break from in-person schooling last spring ended up dragging on and on through the end of the year, and for students like me who've been online all year, it never ended. But living as we once became accustomed to fundamentally changed. The cicadas changed too, though, as they rise out of the ground. And unlike cicadas, I wouldn't call the horrors of the recent pandemic beautiful, but perhaps we can learn from the mindset that I've imagined for the cicadas. And though the insects will only go from egg to nymph to adult once, we as humans can go through many metamorphoses throughout our lives. We can make the best of each situation, and we can make tangible change in each situation. We can, and we will. So on that note, I'd like to thank all the teachers that we've had throughout the years. The lessons, academic and otherwise, that you've imparted upon us are truly invaluable. This past year was likely harder on you than on many of us, so thank you so much for your perseverance and your care. I personally want to give an extra thank you to Ms. St. Pierre, Mr. Counts, Mrs. Metter, Mr. Seiler, and Mrs. Knox, the coach of academic team, for your support throughout my high school career. The amazing club members of academic team, Model UN, and Dungeons & Dragons Club also deserve special thanks for making my high school career as amazing as it possibly could be. And Peggy, here's the obligatory shout out to you, Bryce, and Allison for maximizing my utility of each economics class. In conclusion, we all know the saying that hindsight is 20/20. And while I do know it's referring to perfect vision rather than the year 2020, I thought that our status as the class of 2021 provided an excellent opportunity for a pun. I know that this class is motivated, persistent, and thoughtful. I know that in another 17 years from now, the impact of this class on the world will ring even louder than the chirps of the next generation of cicadas. And thus, as we complete the next of our many metamorphoses, as we prepare to adapt ourselves to the world and to change the world to ourselves, I think that we should introduce a new saying. Rather than hindsight is 20/20, know that foresight and all the good, world-changing things that it entails is for the class of 2021. So now, it is my pleasure to introduce you all to the Wyoming High School class of 2021.
Chloe Constantinides. Katerina H. Getchy. Autumn Kathleen McMichael. Kayla K. Searles. Vizcaya Blue Wilson. Bailey Catherine Feller. Sydney Ann Vickers. Sophia Louise Dick. Sophia Pauline Doolin. Frances Levon Miller. Riley Maureen Myers. Emily Lynn Rash. Connor DeFranco. Kevin Palo C. Harmon. Grant Hamilton Good Games. Finnegan Francis Connors. Samuel A. Jacobson. Aiden P. Jones. Brooke Elizabeth Millball. Irene Nicholson. Bryce Gleason Shuttlecotty. Margaret Sage Weber. Olivia Taylor Dick. Bree Ann Merritt. Aaron Mackenzie Seiler. Mallory Paige Heitfeld. Reagan O'Connell. Margie Ann Schulte Wilson. Julia K. Hitt. Maria Elise Bennett. Molly Bonita Glover. Kiana Isa Sarah Marie Bernard. Luciana Marie DeJesus. Emily Jean Frankel. Sarah Jean Schaefer. Charles N. Pickett III. Peter John Sponigal. Seth Avi Khan. Seth Sams. William B. Anderson. Dylan Carter. Leanna Marie Morgul. Madeline Stolmar. Josie A. Bohatchee. Sydney Alexis North. Amaya Marie Strong. Catherine Sue W. Whaley. Brianna Michelle Lowry. Clark Renee Schmidt. Jemiah Wilson. Haley Grace Martin. Natalie Grace Glover. Megan Elaine Lyons. Natalie Jean Strom. Lydia J. Smith. Mary Hu. Mia Josephine Hagenauer. James L. Edwards. Gavin M. Ehrlich. Alexander Carl Rhodes. Nathan Way. John Turk. Donovan A. Betts. Colin M. Payne. Christian Mark Joshua Pursley. Nathan W. Bryan. Thomas E. Kellner. Tate Timothy Searles. Ian M. Cortez. Damian Creighton Jr. Christopher Michael Guest. Jacob C. Bryan. Sterling Charles Hoffman. Ethan Roberts Herbert. Jonah A. Berry. Jacob Cooley. Spencer Kellen Gonzalez. Andrew Robert Hawk. Onyx Mendenhall. William M. Robeson. Mason B. Allen. Jacob Scott Vanatsky. Isaiah Khalil Walker.
Annalise Harper White. Madeline Louise Palmer. Brooke Madison Pittman. Chloe M. Rajbandari. Joanna C. Thorman. Aliza Michelle Schneider. Shelby K. Sash. Gabrielle Ashley Starks. Sierra Ashley Steinwert. Sylvia Maeve Coyle. Mariana Dionisu. Anna Draper. Naomi Evans. Mary Margaret Fitzpatrick. Audrey Elizabeth Hatcher. Lakis Lavinia Haysbert. Claire Kraft. Shelby Lee Kuhn. Lana Marie Moore. Anna Sirely. Audrey Elizabeth Renz. Catherine E. Beasley. L. Summers Bocher. Abigail Lynn Grodicke. Nathaniel Curran Miller. McCaden L. Wynn. Sean Lewis Zimmerman. Darian Gilbert. Bryce Nakari Hickson. Will Ward Jurgens. Hope Marie Trenkamp. Elise Clara Walters. Camry Sydney Leland. Ella Virginia Bachman. Caitlin Ann Broderick. Isabella R. Kurtz. Owen P. Coughlin. Elijah Roland Mayung. Griffin McClure Knapp. Louis R. Rosenberg. Good job. Joseph Michael Trapp. Sahil Meherota. DeAndre Lamont Brown II. Aiden Chimunin Donahue. Adam P. Flem. Eric Daniel Glassman. Nathan Thomas Glisson. Kobe Andrew Hosfeld. Joshua Parker Nugent. Brennan M. Pagan. Evan P. Ryan. William Harris Sponigal. Kenta Kato Wu. Grant Joseph Magella. Richard Wesley Elliott II. Maxwell James Hutchins. Raymond Andrew Jeffers. Ethan Daniel Jabalia. Riley Carl Lingen. Tanner J. Notestein. Margaret Rose Moore. Stephanie Zitarescu. Meredith Page Bornholt. Samuel D. Shira. Rowan Reichert Hester. Eric Scott Bachman, Jr. Max Michael Araj. David H. Burton. Jackson A. Kaiser. Grayson Marshall Savage. Bashir C. Thomas. Cage J. Wellman. Henry Weingardner. William Jupe Mitchell. Joshua Dale Nelson. Andrew Stoppenhagen. Benjamin Parker. Xavier Tutko. Logan X. Adams. Elijah Ray Dennis. Zachary Thomas Holdren. Yahel Slonim. Samuel H. Jackman. Pearson A. Hauser. Tobias Alexander Dean. Isaac Brian Town. I now present to you Wyoming High School class of 2021.